Good morning to you all. Today we shall continue with discussion of cell organelles. Last class we were discussing about passive transport and active transport. Active transport involves the movement of materials, that is water along with the minerals, across a concentration gradient, that is from lower concentration to higher concentration. For that, energy is required, that is in the form of ATP. So the cell membrane uses the function of sodium potassium pump using ATPase complex. Clear? And next we also have in certain prokaryotes such as bacteria where transport takes place, that is glucose. Now we were discussing about the movement of molecules in the form of water or ions. Sometimes there is bulk transport. Bulk transport means transport of materials in huge amount. Clear? That is in solid form or liquid form, larger molecules of liquid. Now what happens? That involves two processes, that is endocytosis and exocytosis. Endocytosis means what? Intake of materials inside the cell. Clear? That also involves two types, phagocytosis and pinocytosis. Phagocytosis, phago means engulfing. So the engulfing of solid materials inside the cell is called as phagocytosis. Pinocytosis, intake of liquid material. Clear? And exocytosis means what? Exo means exterior. That is expulsion of materials outside the cell. So you have to remember, apart from passive and active transport, you have to have some knowledge about these terms in the form of bulk transport. Let us come down to the other cell organelle. Now, one of the most important cell organelle that I want to discuss with you all is Golgi bodies, also known as Golgi apparatus. As you can see in the diagram, Golgi apparatus, also known as Golgi bodies, was first discovered by Camillo Golgi. Clear? It consists of three parts: tubules, vesicles and vacuoles. What are that is tubules? These are also known as cisternae, which are arranged in parallel or stacks one above the other. Then they have got rounded structures called as vacuoles, which are larger as compared to vesicles. What is their function? They are involved in packaging of material, synthesis of materials, as well as synthesis of hormones, enzymes, and sometimes what happens, these vesicles or the vacuoles, they get pinched off, that is break off, and form lysosome. So they are also involved in lysosome formation. They have a transforming phase and cis phase. Clear? Next, as you can see, these are called as plastids. One more thing, Golgi bodies in plant cells are called as dictosomes. They are not that much well organized or formed into cisternae, tubules or vesicles. They are lie scattered. Now next we come to plastids. Plastids are found only in plant cell. As you can see, plastids are of three types: chromoplast, leucoplast and chloroplast. Leucoplast are plastids which are colorless. Therefore, they are usually found in the roots areas, or that is where they are colorless parts, and then they are found in potatoes also in the form of in the storage of starch grains. Then they are found in presence of elioplast where and elenoplast. Elenoplast we have already studied. They are found in the maize grain, that is the aileron layer, that is rich in proteins. Elioplast rich in fats or lipids. Clear? And amyloplast rich in starch grains. So all these, they also come under leucoplast. Chromoplast are colored plastids found in flowers and fruits. They are important for imparting color to the flowers and fruits, and they contain pigments such as xanthophyll and carotene, collectively which are called as carotenoids. They impart yellow color and orange red color to the petals or fruits. Beside this, they also there are other pigments also called as anthocyanins, which we'll be discussing later. But these, other than this yellow and orange red pigments, the other pigments found, they are not termed as plastids or chloroplast. The most important is the chloroplast, which is also called as green plastid. It is a double membrane structure. The outer membrane is smooth while the inner membrane is thrown into laminated structures called thylakoids, which are disc-shaped or lens-shaped. As you can see in the diagram, the thylakoids are arranged in like a pile of coins, and they are called as grana. So one grana is connected to the other grana with the help of threads or stromal lamellae. The ground substance is called as matrix or stroma. The thylakoids contain chlorophyll pigment, and it is here where the light reaction of photosynthesis takes place, whereas stroma is the region where the dark reaction of photosynthesis takes place. It contains sugars, some organic compounds, as well as ribosomes and DNA. That's why chloroplasts are referred as semi-autonomous organelle, since they can synthesize their own chloroplast in the new cell. Clear? Next we have the other, this one, ribosomes. Clear? Now ribosomes, as you can see, they are organelle which are which are very important for photosynthesis. Clear? So these ribosomes, where they are found, they are found either scattered in the cytoplasm or they lie on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. They have got two subunits, one larger subunit and smaller subunit. They are rich in RNA and proteins. So many ribosomes, they form a chain, as I had explained earlier, and an mRNA strand passes through it, which are involved in translation of proteins. Clear? Now you must have studied in the prokaryotic cell that the ribosome is 70S. In the eukaryotic, it is 80S. S stands for Sedberg unit, that is the sedimentation coefficient. Clear? Now, as I said earlier, ribosomes are involved in protein synthesis. Next organelle you can find, this is centrosome, again found in animal cell only. Clear? So what do you find? What is centrosome? It is a clear area located near the nucleus, clear space, that is called as centrosome, and it has got two structures called as centroles, which are at right angles to each other, and radiating tubules called as ester. They are involved in spindle formation during cell division and initiates cell division. So that this centrosome is very important because they are involved in the cell division process of mitosis and meiosis. Got it? And the spindle fibers are the structures to which the chromatids are attached. Next we have vacuoles. Clear? Vacuoles, as you find, they are structures which are found only in animals, plant cell. Clear? They are very prominent and they are filled with water sap or cell sap. Clear? Also known as cell sap. The outermost layer is called as tonoplast. In animal cell, the vacuoles are absent, or if present, they are very small. So this contain water as well as organic nutrients as well as anthocyanins, which I had mentioned earlier. What are anthocyanin? Anthocyanin are pigment that contain pigments such as blue color, violet color, and are that is purple also, which impart this color to the petals or fruits. So what is the function of vacuoles? They maintain the turgidity of the plant cell. Beside this, vacuoles can be a gas vacuoles as found in prokaryotes, a contractile vacuole found in amoeba, which are responsible for osmoregulation or excretion, but they are prominent in plant cell. Clear? They occupy the major area of the plant cell and the nucleus is pushed towards the periphery. Next you have the nucleus. Now nucleus, as you can observe here in the diagram here, what do you find? The nucleus is a double membrane. The outer membrane is not smooth but interrupted with pores. Clear? And these pores are called as nuclear pores. The ground substance nucleoplasm, dense dark body called as the nucleus, involved in formation of RNA, and fiber-like structures, thin thread-like structures called as chromatin, which becomes thick thread-like called chromosomes, which are chemically made up of DNA and proteins. Clear? These chromosomes at the time of during the anaphase stage, they assume certain shape. Why? Because of the position of the centromere. So nucleus is very important part, or organelle you can say, of the cell, because it controls the hereditary information, the transmission of hereditary information from parents to offspring, whereas it also controls the activity of all the other organelle in the cell. Clear? So beside this, let me give you the notes of the various parts that we had discussed today. Centrosome you have done. Centrosomes. Then you have the Golgi apparatus and the nucleus. Then you have this one, like I had discussed earlier, active transport. This is the diagram of uniport, symport and antiport. Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus. I know you all have to be more important now. Pay attention to your upcoming board exams, and after that you can again go through the notes. As for the books, we have to wait for the which is prescribed by the council. Vacuoles, centrosome, then you have Golgi apparatus, nucleus, chromatin fibers. So these are very delicate thread-like structures. Then you have the other two parts of the plastids. Leucoplast we have already written. I have already shown you the chromoplast and chloroplast. One diagram given clearly. Okay, so that is all for this session. Work hard for your upcoming board exams, and whatever queries you can ask in the comment section. As for the books, you can refer to any prescribed book of +2, but according to me, Nutan Publications and S. Chand Publication, Sarita Garurwal has been prescribed by the council.